Chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Durlabhamanasho deho dehinam shanabhangurai tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshana Gurave Gaurachandraya Dikaya tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya namo namaha Vasudeva katha prashna purusham strin punatihi Vaktaram prichakam shrotram Tatpada salilam yatha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for taking out your valuable time to come together on this wonderful day of Ekadashi and to read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Granth-Raj, Amala Purana, the nectar by Srila Shukdev Goswami and Srila Bhaktivedanta purports. What could be a better day than to read here and engage in Bhagavatam, and that too, the lotus face, the 10th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So reading chapter 1 and text number 25. That's where we paused last. So we'll continue from here. Vishnur Maya Bhagavati Yaya Sammohitam Jagat Adishta Prabhunam Shena Karyarthe Sambhavishyati Vishnur Maya Bhagavati Yaya Sammohitam Jagat Adishta Prabhunam Shena Karyarthe Sambhavishyati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. The potency of the Lord, known as Vishnu Maya, who is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will also appear with Lord Krishna. This potency, acting in different capacities, captivates all the worlds, both material and spiritual. At the request of her master, she will appear with her different potencies in order to execute the work of the world. Purport. Parasya Shaktir Vividhai Shruyate. Svetashvara Upanishad 6.8. In the Vedas, it is said the potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are called by different names such as Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Ultimately, however, the Lord's potency is one, exactly as electric potency is one, although it can act both to cool and heat. The Lord's potency acts in both the spiritual and material worlds. In the spiritual world, the Lord's potency works as Yogamaya, and in the material world, the same potency works as Mahamaya, exactly as electricity in both a heater and a cooler. In the material world, this potency, working as Mahamaya, acts upon the conditioned soul to deprive them more and more of devotional service. It is said, Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam. In the material world, the conditioned soul thinks of himself as a product of three guna, the three modes of material nature. This is the bodily conception of life. Because of associating with the three gunas of the material potency, everyone identifies himself with the body. Someone is thinking he is a Brahmana, someone a Kshatriya, someone a Vaishya, someone a Shudra. Actually, however, one is neither a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, nor a Shudra. One is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, Mamayevamsha. But because of being covered by the material energy, Mahamaya, one identifies himself in these different ways. When the conditioned soul becomes liberated, however, he thinks himself an eternal servant of Krishna. Jivira Sarupaya Krishnera Nitya Das. When he becomes, or when he comes to that position, the same potency acting as Yogamaya increasingly helps him become purified, and the devotee and devote his energies to the service of the Supreme Lord. In either case, whether the soul is conditioned or liberated, the Lord is supreme, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 9.10, Maya Dhakshena Prakriti Suyate Sa Characharam. It is by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that the material energy, Mahamaya, works upon the conditioned soul. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks to be the doer of the activities which are in actuality carried out by nature. Within conditioned life, no one has freedom, but because one is bewildered, being subject to the rule of Mahamaya, one foolishly thinks himself independent. Ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. But when the conditioned soul becomes liberated by executing the devotional service, he is given a greater and greater chance to relish a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in different transcendental statuses such as Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya Rasa. Thus, the Lord's potency, Vishnu Maya, has two features, Avarnika and Unmukha. Avarnika and Unmukha. When the Lord appeared, his potency came with him, acted in different ways. She acted as Yogamaya with Yashoda, Devaki, and other intimate relationships, intimate relations of the Lord. And she acted in different way with Kamsa, Salva, and other asuras. By the order of Lord Krishna, his potency, Yogamaya, came with him and exhibited different activities according to the time and circumstances. Karyarthe sambhavishyati. Yogamaya acted differently to execute different purposes desired by the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Mahatmanastamam partha devim prakritim ashritaha. The Mahatmas who fully surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord are directed by the Yogamaya, whereas the Duratmas, those who are devoid of devotional service, are directed by Mahamaya. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So, in this wonderful verse, Vishnu Maya, the discussion is about that Lord, not just Lord Vishnu will come. Brahmaji told in the previous verse to the demigods. And why could he tell? Because he was tuned, we discussed yesterday. He was tuned to receive the message of the Supreme Lord. And he could understand that the Lord, with his Maya Shakti, will come. Prabhu Amshena, this is the with different factors. Karyarthe sambhavishyati, for executing the different businesses. And what is the business? When the Lord comes, he wants to exchange different rasas. Yashoda Mata has a different rasa, the friends have a different rasa, and the servants have a different rasa. If Yashoda Mata is not covered by Yogamaya, or if the Yogamaya is not acting there, then how would if the mother is thinking that my child is the Supreme Lord, the protector, the Almighty, the source of everything, then why will he try to serve? Right? Why will he try to cook? Because he's the one who nourishes and provides for everyone. How can I give him something? Right? So that covering, Maya Javanika Channam, Agyadhokshajam Ambeyam, Na Lakshase Mudadisha, Nato Natya Dharo Yatha. The Agyanis, those who are not able to understand, they are covered with Mahamaya, or the external energy of the Lord. But the devotees, the pure devotees, are covered by internal energy that they forget that they are dealing with the Supreme Lord. That's the transcendental energy of the Lord. Again, why? To exchange different rasas. Prabhupada gives the example of the heat, the electric. The electricity goes in the refrigerator and it keeps the things cool. And in the winter, in the air conditioning, in winter it gives this the heat, right? And in the summer it gives the cooling. The source is the same. The electric power has not changed, but how the different reactions happen, how the transformation of energy happens, that makes it different. So similarly, now we have also a choice, either to succumb to under the direction of the external energy and being captivated by the Triguna and keep forgetting about our real constitutional position, as Prabhupada is mentioning here. Jivira Swarup hoy Krishna Nitya Das. When we are covered with the three modes, we cannot understand. We understand ourselves as a product of Yaya Sammohito Jiva Atma Nam Tri Gunatmakam. We are just Kataputli in the different modes. Sometimes feel like doing pious things, sometimes feel like, doing impious things, etc. But a devotee is above these, because one has understood that I'm not this matter. I'm not this body. I'm transcendental. I'm the Amsha of the Lord. Jivira Swarup hoy Krishna Nitya Das. I'm not a Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra, Gopir Bhartur Pad Kamalayor Das Das Dasam Das. I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis who are continuously serving the Supreme Lord. This is our real position. And then one will try to be under the impact of internal energy. Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Devim Prakriti, the transcendental energy. They're not under the material energy. Even though they may be living in this world, but they are beyond this world. Be in this world, but not of this world. They are beyond this world. In the famous verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it says that Iha yasya harirdasya karmana manasagira nikhilaswapi avastastu jivan mukta sauchati. Those who are constantly engaging their mind, body, heart, words, actions, and everything, whatever they do as an offering to the Lord, then they are jivan mukta. Even in this life, they are liberated. So this is what we are aspiring for. This is what we are trying to do, to become Mahatma, right? To become Mahatma, from Duratma to Mahatma. This is the spiritual journey. And in between is the struggle for a sadhaka. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Any other thoughts, comments, or additions? Anyone in this verse?
Yeah, I have just a question. As you went from yuga to yuga, so initially it would have started out as a yogi maya, right? And then gradually the Mahamaya kept on increasing. Now we're at the point where totally engulfed by Mahamaya and trying to get out of it. Is that a good observation, correct observation?
Well, the Mahamaya is there, but let's put it this way. The people in the previous yugas were more spiritual. So more of majority, we cannot say everyone, but we can say, but because there is mention that even in those times, there were some people who were who are not like Ravana, like Hiranyakashipu, right? Like Shishupal, Dantavakra. They're always a section of people who are ungodly. So we cannot, yes, the percentage is high in Kali Yuga, and even Kali Yuga we can see. Would you agree with this statement that 50 years back people who had more culture, more God fearing or loving values compared to now?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So even in Kali Yuga, we see the transition is happening. Every 5 years, we can see there is generation gap for worse, right? Not for good. It's not that they're getting, maybe the technology is high. Maybe we are talking about 3D glasses and whatnot. But what is the purpose? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. That's the real bhar, the weight, the burden on Mother Earth is increasing because of godless society. The godlessness or the godless proportion of people is continually increasing. So more and more people are succumbing under the grips of the Mahamaya or the external energy, and very few, this very, very rare, few people are taking to the pure message or taking shelter under the divine energy of the Lord. So does that help? Or
No, that's good. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your nice comment and observation. Okay, so we'll move on to the next verse. Those who didn't get chance yesterday.
Prabhu, Hare Kṛṣṇa. I just want to make one comment with Raghu Prabhu's question. When there is, we come to this material world, that is Mahamaya. There is no question about that who is like, even Vishwamitra Muni or whatever, they came, all of them under the control of Mahamaya. But some people, they kind of like ignored that Mahamayas and then got into the influence of Yogamaya. Because this material world is made of its illusion. So they are practicing the Krishna consciousness. But any moment we can be under the control of Maya and we can change into other direction. So as soon as we are here, that is control of Mahamaya. There is no question of about Yogamaya. But some devotees, those who are exceptional, they can come out of that situation. In this context, one other important thing is like for when like some of the special souls, they don't come like because of their karmic reaction. Like Srila Prabhupada or Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they came to actually help Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we cannot think them in our level. They are different level. But most of us, we came here because of our previous karmic reaction. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. I suppose I could say Prahlad Maharaj, right from the womb, he had a spiritual inclination or prayer already. So the closest one would be one of like a Prahlad Maharaj.
Absolutely. Prahlad Maharaj and so many other great devotees, all the Rajavasis practically, right? Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba, etc. Krishna's friends, Srila Prabhupada. So, okay. Those who didn't get chance yesterday, maybe they can read today. So,
yeah, I can read. I can read.
yes, please.
Text 26. Hare Krishna devotees, text 26. Sri Shuka Vacha iti adisyamara ganan prajapati patir vibhuhu vaswasya cha mahim giribhihi swadhama paramam yayav. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sukadeva Goswami continued, after thus advising the demigods and specifying Mother Earth, the very powerful Lord Brahma, who is the master of all Prajapatis, and is therefore known as Prajapati Pati, returned to his own abode, Brahmaloka. So I think based on the previous verse, text and verse we already heard, that Lord Krishna will be coming down from the Yadu dynasty onto the earth to save the earth really from all the miscreants and demons and so on. Thank you, bro. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So after giving this adisha or information, Amara Ganan, Amara, Devtas are referred to as Amara. But that does not mean that they don't die. It's just they have a long life compared to the humans on the Bhumandala. Ganan means group. So Prajapati, Patihi, all the Prajapatis are coming from Lord Brahma because he is the secondary creator. Prajapati Patihi, the master of all the Prajapatis. And very, very powerful. So he pacified, he gave sweet words, and then he went to his planet. So where did he return from? Where did he return from? To his planet, to his Brahmaloka. Where did he come from? Anyone?
Lord Vishnu supports Śrī Sagar.
Yes, Śrī Sagar, Payonidhi, yes, Shweta Dvipa, that referred to as multiple. So, very nice. Okay, so quite straightforward here. Let's see what happens further. Yes, Ravi Prabhu, interview.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Text 27. Shurashena Jadupoti Mathuram Abashan Purim Mathuran Chora Shenamscha Vishayan Bhubuje Pura. Translation. Prabhu, can you please scroll? Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Formerly, Shurashena, the chief of the Jadu dynasty, had gone to live in the city of Mathura. There he enjoyed the places known as Mathura and Shurashena. So here now Shukdev Goswami is coming to the Jadu dynasty. Before that, he was explaining Brahma asked everybody to come to this universe, come to this Bhumandala and take bath in the Jadu dynasty. And now Shukdev Goswami is saying that chief of the Jadu dynasty. So looks like most likely those demigods, they're taking birth in the Jadu dynasty. And that's what I understand, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, back to you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, quite straightforward here. So let's see. Text 28. Yes, Lakshay, Prabhu, want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Text only. Rajadani Tata Sabu Sarva Yadava Ubujam Mathura Bhagavan Yatra Nityaṁ Shanihito Hare.
Maybe try one more time. Try to emphasize on the A with the apostrophe. Rajadhani tata sabhu sarva yadava bhubhujam mathura bhagavan yatra nityam sannihito harihi. Try one more time. You're doing good.
Rajadani Tata Sabu Hut Sarva Yadava Bubajam Mathura Bhagavan Yatra Nityaṁ Sanito Hare. Translation purpose. Since that time, the city of Mathura has been the capital of all the kings of the Yadu dynasty. The city and district of Mathura was very intimately connected with Krishna, for Lord Krishna lives there eternally. But it is understood that Mathura city is the transcendental abode of Lord Krishna. It is not an ordinary material city, for it is eternally connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vrindavan is within the jurisdiction of Mathura, and it still continues to exist because Mathura and Vrindavan are intimately connected with Krishna eternally. It is said that Lord Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Vrindavanam Parijya Yajya Padam Ekam Nagachati. At present, the Lord knows the place known as Vrindavan in the district of Mathura continues its position as a transcendental place. And certainly anyone who goes there becomes transcendently purified. Navadipa Dharma is also intimately connected with Rajabhumi. Srila Narottama Dasa Thakur therefore says, Shri Gaura Mandala Bhumi Yeva Jane Chintamani Tara Haya Rajabhume Vasa. Rajabhumi refers to Mathura, Vrindavan, and Gaura Mandala Bhumi includes Navadvipa. These two places are non-different. Therefore, anyone living in Navadvip Dhamma, knowing Krishna and Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu to be in the same personality, lives in Rajabhumi, Mathura, Vrindavan. The Lord has made it convenient for the conditioned soul to live in Mathura, Vrindavan, and Navadipa, and thus be directly connected with the Supreme Personality of God. Simply by living in these places, one can immediately come in contact with the Lord. There are many devotees who vow never to leave Vrindavan and Mathura. This is undoubtedly a good vow, but if one leaves Vrindavan, Mathura, or Navadvip Dhamma for the service of the Lord, he is not disconnected from the Supreme Personality of God. At any rate, we must understand the transcendental importance of Mathura, Vrindavan, and Navadvip Dhamma. Anyone who executes devotional services in these places certainly goes back to Godhead after giving up his body. Thus, the words Mathura Bhagavan Yatra Nityaṁ Shanihito Hare are particularly important. A devotee should fully utilize the instruction to the best of his ability. Whenever the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he appears in Mathura because of his intimate connection with this place. Therefore, although Mathura and Vrindavan are situated on the planet Earth, they are transcendental abodes of the Lord. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji.
Thank you. What did you learn from this verse? Oh,
That even though Mathura, Vrindavan, and Navadvipa are all are the three places on earth, they're still like the transcendental abode of Krishna. So the Krishna always appears at them first before going anywhere, because they're kind of, because you could say his favorite places kind of on earth.
very nice. Swikshaji, you were saying something? Sorry, you want to unmute and want to say something? Okay. Sri Rupa Goswami mentions in the devotion, Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtana bhāgavata-sevayā Mathura Vasa Srimurtira Shraddhaya Sevana Sakala Sadhana Shrestha E Pancha Anga Krishna Prema Janmai Panche Alpa Sangha. So the previous verse talk about the glories of this great dynasty where the Lord would come, the dynasty of Yadu, headed by the king Shurasena at that time. This verse talks about the Rajdhani of the Yadus, and that Rajdhani, or the capital city, is Mathura. Because it is not just an ordinary place, it is the transcendental abode of the Supreme Lord. So we should not think it in a mundane way. Okay, I will buy a bus ticket or a flight ticket and go to Delhi, and then from Delhi I take a taxi and get to Vrindavan. Problem solved, right? So this is actually Dhama Aprad. There are multiple, Seva Aprad, Nama Aprad, Vaishnava Aprad. There are Dhama Aprad also. And one of them is to consider the holy place as a ordinary city. Oh, there are some properties here. There are some people doing business here. There are some shops here. The Dham is covered by the Maya Shakti, the Vishnu Maya we discussed in the previous verse. The Dham is covered differently for the non-devotees and differently for the pure bhaktas. The pure bhaktas are always able to see as Vrindavanam parityaja ekam padam na gacchati. The pure devotees are able to relish that mood. Lord Chaitanya was able to see all that. The pure the Shad Goswamis, they're under the Mahamaya, they're able to see the Lord. The Lord is coming. We see so many pastimes of Radharani putting her veil on to protect the Goswamis from the sunlight. Krishna standing as the guard to protect the Rupa Goswami from the lion, and so many other pastimes. That means Krishna is always there, but we need the eyes to see. One whose eyes are covered with the Maya Chakshu, how can he see Vrindavan? Therefore, we must not artificially try to say, oh, I will live in Vrindavan and then my life will be perfect. If one, rather, it is said in the Vaishnava etiquette manual that one should not go to Vrindavan without devotees, or one should go, in short, in the association of devotees, in a very reverential, respectful, devotional mood. Otherwise, any place where we stay for more time, right? Familiarity breeds contempt, right? We will take it cheaply. We'll talk nonsense. We'll find faults, and so many other things may happen, right? So therefore, we have to be careful, especially in every yatra. As Raghunath Maharaj explains in the first yatra, first lecture, the first day of the very first lecture, he mentioned that we have not come to Vrindavan or any holy place, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, to eat, sleep, and pass stool, right? That's not why we have come to this holy place. Or in short, not to just do materialistic things. we've come to absorb. We've come to absorb to the grace of the Supreme Lord. So we must go, in short, in the association of devotees. It is one of the 5 main important limbs. And if one is away from the dham, but thinking about dham, is much better than being in the dham, but thinking about materialistic places to enjoy. Right? So, nonetheless, Prabhupada is mentioning we should understand the importance of these holy places and periodically make arrangements to go there. I know most of the devotees here are from the United States, and it's not that easy to go, especially nowadays when this COVID and so many uncertainties are going around. But nonetheless, we should see what works best based on time, place, situations, and periodically make arrangements, whether once in a year, once in 2 years, once in 3 years. If we can't even do that, then we should really think about why are we here, right? Because so at least once every few years, in short, at least some, when we go to Govardhan Parikrama, there is a Babaji. Actually, he recently passed. In the Uddhav Kund. There's a Babaji who was serving there for a very long time. He would tell wonderful stories. He would say that one person would come from California every month and do Govardhan Parikrama. Can you imagine? He would come from California to do Govardhan Parikrama every month. Sorry, not every day, it would be too much. But every month is not easy either, right? But look at the devotion, right? It's not easy for someone to buy the ticket. Even if one may have money, a lot of money still, one will say, why should I use my $1,000 here? Right? Or even more if it goes with family. Well, I can use it for my sense gratification. And he would go there, he would do parikrama, he would spend time in dham, and devotees serve. So just I was inspired. Look at the sincerity of that devotee. People generally want to take break and go for vacations in Switzerland and Hawaii, and whatnot, so many places. But glorious are those who go to holy places. And then sharing that holy place, Prabhupada is mentioning. If one leaves Vrindavan, Mathura, Navadvip for the service of the Lord, then he is not disconnected from the Supreme Lord. Like Srila Prabhupada never left Vrindavan. In short, he brought Vrindavan to the whole world. He brought Lord Jagannath to the whole world. Jagannath Rath Yatra was not happening beyond India. Before Prabhupada started this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, but now Jagannath Rath Yatra is happening in hundreds and hundreds of cities, and thousands of Rath Yatras in small or big way, right? In our small congregation like Tampa, there are like 3-4 Rath Yatras. Just think about. So it's very, very glorious. And in that way, one is always connected to the Holy Dham, which is transcendental. Okay, any other thoughts, additions, comments? Anyone has? Yeah, Prabir, you were saying something. Sorry, I kind of interrupted.
Bro, I was just thinking that nectar of instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami, he was saying that in this universe, Mathura is the best place. In the Mathura, the Vrindavan was the best place. In Vrindavan, Govardhan is the best place, and in Govardhan, Radhakund is the best place. So I was thinking when you were thinking, I was thinking that you were talking about that verse. Sorry, bro. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you for sharing that nectar of instruction. Right? I was just reminded of this bhajan by Narottam Das Thakur. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Dibya Chintamani Dhama Ratana Mandira Manohara. Abrita kalindi nire raja hamsa keli kare tahe shobhe kanaka kamala. Beautiful verse. The beautiful Vrindavan is filled with Chintamani gems and many jewel places and temples. Many regal swans play in this water of the Yamuna, and in those waters a splendid golden lotus flower grows. It's only 3 paragraphs, so maybe we can read. Sampada Mataji, you want to read this bhajan and complete the second and the third paragraph?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Tara mathe hema pita astadale pestita astadale pradhana naika. Tara mathe ratnasane vasiya dui jane shama sange sundari radhika. O Rupalapanya Rasi Amiya Pariche Khasi Asha Parihasa Sambha Asane Narottama Dasa Koi Nitya Leela Sukhamoi Sadai Spurka Mora Mane. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Oh, in the middle of that lotus is a golden place surrounded by 8 petals. On these 8 petals, the 8 principal gopis reside. And in the center, Lord Shamasundara and beautiful Srimati Radharani sit on a jewel throne. The great beauty of the divine couple and their charming joking and laughter continually showers nectar everywhere. Narottama Dasa says, I pray that these blissful, eternal, transcendental pastimes of the divine couple may be always manifested in my heart. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Ripo, thank you so much. So, as Narottam Thakur is praying, we can also pray. Prayers of great devotees are very powerful. So we have all blessings and to follow their footsteps and repeat those prayers. Basically, that's what we are trying to do. Narottama dasa koi nitya leela sukham sada e sphuraka maram mora mana. Sada, may it always, Spurti is manifest, may it always be in my heart, in my soul. What? The wonderful pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna. So this verse, this bhajan mentioned that Vrindavan is transcendental. Each and every particle is transcendental. It is not just ordinary sand, it's not ordinary tree. One who has those eyes will be able to see the Chintamani particles all over each and every thing. So, glories about the Holy Dham and one of the 5 important limbs of the 5 A, B, C, D, E is entering Vrindavan or entering holy place. Whether we are in Vrindavan or outside Vrindavan, the mood should be to always in Vrindavan. Okay, text 29. Anyone would like to read this one? It's a good chance here. Yes, Vasudev Mataji, want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Text 29. Tasyam tu karhi chichaurir Vasudeva krita dvaha Devakya suraya sardham prayane ratham aruhat. Can you scroll up? Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Some time ago, Vasudeva, who belonged to the demigod family Vasudeva, who belonged to the demigod family to the Surya dynasty, married Devaki. After the marriage, he mounted his chariot to return home with his newly married wife. So here, Vasudeva, the king, it's already started. The most wonderful birth will take place of Lord Krishna. So that's what at the beginning of the pastime. So where Vasudeva is married to Mother Devaki and bringing her in a chariot. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Who was the father of Vasudev? Mentioned here. Vasudev. Who was the father? Yes.
Shurasena Prabhu.
Yes, Shurasena. The Shura dynasty. We can connect from here also. Shurasena was the father of Vasudev. So this is an important word. It's not Vasudev. It's not Vasudeva. It's Vasudev. Okay. When there will be an A with the hyphen on top, that will be Vasudev. That's the name of Krishna, the son of Vasudev. But here we're talking about Krishna's father, whose name is Vasudev. And he belonged to the Shura dynasty, or Shurasena's son. He married Devaki. We know this famous pastime, very, very famous pastime. When Kamsa was driving the chariot, and we know that will come later. So he mounted his chariot to return home with his newly married wife, referring to Devaki here. So quite straightforward. Let's see what happens further. Anyone would like to read this text who hasn't got a chance yet? Text 30. Yes, Nandini Mataji, want to read?
Dandat pranam. Ugrasena sutta kamsa swasu priya chikarshaya rashmin yanan jagraha rokme ratha shate vrutaha. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kamsa, the son of King Ugrasen, in order to please his sister Devaki, on the occasion of her marriage, took charge of the reins of the horses and became the chariot driver. He was surrounded by hundreds of golden chariots. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So Ugrasena and Shurasena. Ugrasena was the father of Kamsa. And Vasudev was the son of Shurasena. These two names sound a little similar. So quite straightforward here. Devaki and I think in the previous chapter or previous 9th canto, there is detail about this, right? I can quickly open because they were like, just opening it for our reference again. Yeah. So there was Ugrasena's father was Ahuka. It is mentioned in Canto 9, chapter 24. And Ahuka had one more son named Devaka. Okay. So Ahuka was the father of Ugrasena and Devaka. And Devaka had 4 sons and 7 daughters. Amongst the 7 daughters was one Devaki. And so Devaki was not like they were not like, so in short, if I say Devaki and Kamsa were brothers and sister, but cousins. Because Devaki's father was? Anyone?
Devaka.
Devaka. Yeah, Devaka. And Kamsa's father was Ugrasena, but their grandfather was Ahuka. So we read all that in Canto 9. I know it's hard to remember names, but it just struck me. So I'll share this table here. So Ugrasena had 9 sons. Kamsa was the chief, and 5 daughters. So these 5 daughters of Ugrasena, they married Vasudev's brothers. And the 7 daughters of Devaka married whom?
Vasudev.
Their names were Shanti Dev, Upadev, Shri Dev, Devarakshita, Sahadev, Devaki, and Dhritadev. I'll share this picture for those who want. So in short, Devaki plus 6 other sisters of Devaki, the son of the daughters of Devaka, married to Vasudev. And Kamsa was driving the chariot. And his other sisters from the same father, referring to Ugrasena, the 5 sisters were married to the 5 brothers of Vasudev, the other brothers of Vasudev, which I don't know the names here. Does that help?
Ji, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, so we can read one last verse, or maybe they're together, 31, 32. So we can read this and then we'll pause. Anyone who still hasn't got chance and really wants to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I can read.
Please.
Hare Krishna, devotees, Dhanavad Pranam. Chatusatam parivaraham gajanam hemamalinam ashwanam ayutam sharadham rathanam chatrisat sachatam dasinam sukamaranim. Will you please just scroll it up? Up, Prabhuji, up. Yeah. Dasi nam sukumari nam dve sate samlankirte duhitre devakah pradad yane duhitra vatsalah. The meaning is down, Prabhuji. I need to scroll that up.
Are you able to see, Prabhu? It's right here, highlighted one.
Now I can see.
Yes.
Devaki's father, King Devaka, Devaki's father, King Devak, was very much affectionate to his daughter. Therefore, while she and her husband were leaving home, he gave her a dowry of 400 elephants, nicely decorated with golden garlands. He also gave 10,000 horses, 1,800 chariots, and 200 very beautiful young maidservants, fully decorated with ornaments. We need to scroll it up, Prabhuji, for the purport.
Wait, can you see now?
Yes. The system of giving a dowry to one's daughter has existed in Vedic civilization for a very long time. Even today, following the same system, a father who has money will give his daughter an opulent dowry. A daughter would never inherit the property of her father, and therefore an affectionate father during the marriage of his daughter would give her as much as possible. A dowry, therefore, is never illegal according to the Vedic system. Here, of course, the gift offered as a dowry by Devak to Devaki was not ordinary, because Devak was a king. He gave a dowry quite suitable to his royal position. Even an ordinary man, especially a high-class Brahman, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, is supposed to give his daughter a liberal dowry. Immediately after the marriage, the daughter goes to her husband's house, and it is also a custom for the brother of the bride to accompany his sister and brother-in-law to exhibit affection for her. The system was followed by Kansa. There are all, Prabhuji, I need to please scroll it up. Yeah, these are all old customs in the society of Varnashram Dharma, which is now wrongly designated as Hindu. These long-standing customs are nicely described here. So what I here understand that since King Devak was very royal, like king, so he also liked his daughter Devaki. So when she got married to Vasudev, he gave a bunch of dowry, like 40,000 elephants and thousands of horses and chariots and beautiful young maid servants. So here at Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that the dowry system is not new. It's there since ancient Vedic culture, which is actually wrongly being used in the current time. Hari Bol, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this shows the opulence they had, right? 400 elephants with golden garlands. Golden garlands. Nowadays, even the bride itself is artificial jewelry, what to speak of the elephants wearing golden garlands. So Kali Yuga, what to do? 10,000 horses, 18,000 chariots and whatnot. The point is that look at the opulence, look at the magnanimous, these kings. Nowadays, on the name of dowry, it's a business actually. So therefore it was abolished by certain people, but because the true spirit was lost, right? Prabhupada is mentioning dowry is not illegal, but because of people's greed, they would do a business out of it. That right, that becomes wrong. Yes, the girl's father, as per the Shastras, should give something, but if the father cannot do, it is the Shastras mentioned that he can just give a fruit, like a banana, as dowry. That one will be able to figure out one banana. So the point is not how much. Nowadays it has become a social symbol, a status symbol. Oh, that person gave so-and-so car to the daughter or the son-in-law and whatnot. Oh, that person gives I have to give more than him or her. There's a lot of politics, lot of status symbol, a lot of greed, and then people demand, right? Here, Ugrasena, is there any mention? Vasudev said, oh, you must give 400 elephants and you must give this. No, there is no mention. Devaka, out of affection for the daughter, chose to give this. Ugrasen didn't demand this. Ugrasen's father, Shurasen, didn't do a business that we will marry only if you give this, this, this. All these things are happening these days, right? Either directly or indirectly. Sometimes it's very actively spoken, sometimes it's very passively said. But it's wrong, right? It's not demanded. If the girl's father chooses to give something based on their comfort, based on their desire and affection, that's a different story. And therefore, then people wrongly say these Hindu customs. See, look at this Hindu custom. The marriages are become like business, and so these are not Hindu customs. The adulterated versions of this have become Hindu custom, and then people say this is wrong. So one has to understand the spirit. One has to understand the truth behind. Same as the sati pratha also. A lot of people, wrongly it was misutilized, and again people were forced. The girls after the death of the husband were forced to do sati, which was never the intent of the sati. Madri, no one forced her when Pandu Maharaj died. Either both of the queens, Kunti and Madri, wanted to do sati, but one of them had to take care of the sons. So Kunti did that part, and Madri. So these rituals were there, but the customs in the Varnashrama Dharma, they were there. Okay, any other thoughts, comments in this connection?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. I just want to share one thing. We learned that Lord Brahma asked all the demigods to come to this Jadu dynasty. So how it is possible that Kangsha came to as a son of Ugrasena? So I was just listening a few months before. His Holiness Bhaktichar Maharaj was giving lecture from Garga Samhita. And Maharaj was saying that actually Kangsha was not the son of Ugrasena. There was a demon named Drumila. So Drumila, Ugrasena's wife, was very beautiful. So the demon, he knew the mystic yoga. So one time Ugrasena was not at home, and he came as a Ugrasena, exactly like Ugrasena. And then he was associating with Ugrasena's wife, but she understood when they embrace each other that Ugrasena usually doesn't behave like that way. But by this time, Drumila impregnated her, and then he confessed that he is a demon. But because she was carrying the baby, so they didn't do anything. So that's how the Kangsha was actually, he took birth in that dynasty, even though all of them, rest of them are demigods. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing that pastime from Garga Samhita. Okay, so we will pause here and continue tomorrow with the next part. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Samavita Gaur Bhaktam ki jai, Ekadashi Tidhi ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.